Here is a disgusting fact that can ruin your confidence. Fresh sweat is mostly odorless. The smell begins when bacteria living on your skin break down compounds in that sweat and release smaller, smellier molecules. This is why two people can finish the same workout looking equally wet, but only one of them smells like a forgotten lunchbox left inside a hot car. Your skin bacteria, genetics, clothes, diet, and the type of sweat your body produces can all affect the result. The armpits are especially talented because apocrine glands release a thicker fluid that bacteria enjoy turning into odor. Deodorant helps control or cover that odor. Antiperspirant reduces the amount of sweat. Forgetting both before exercise is basically giving the bacteria a fully equipped kitchen. But the truly dangerous part is your nose. When one smell stays around you, your nervous system gradually treats it as background information. This is called olfactory adaptation. It is the same reason you notice a room smell when you enter, then barely notice it 10 minutes later. Your nose has not become stronger. Your brain has simply decided the smell is no longer breaking news. That means everyone entering your space receives a fresh introduction to your body odor, while your own brain may already be ignoring it. And that is exactly how you walked into a crowded gym, caused what employees believed was a ventilation emergency, and completed an entire workout without realizing the emergency was moving with him. The mistake begins before you even leaves home. You wakes up late, checks the time, and performs the morning routine at a speed normally reserved for people escaping a building. Shirt, shoes, water bottle, headphones, gym bag. He reaches toward the deodorant, but his phone lights up with a notification. That single notification erases deodorant from history. He reads it, locks the phone, grabs his bag, and leaves. The deodorant remains on the shelf, standing upright like a tiny guard who watched the prisoner escape and decided paperwork was someone else's problem. You arrives at the gym feeling unusually motivated. It is crowded, the music is loud, and every machine appears to be occupied by someone who has been using it since the building opened. You checks in, nods confidently at the employee, and begins with the treadmill. For the first 5 minutes, everything is normal. Then the workout begins doing what workouts do. Your body heats up. Acrine sweat helps cool you down. Apocrine sweat joins the meeting under your arms. The bacteria receive their ingredients and begin preparing a scent with excellent projection and no respect for personal boundaries. You does not notice. The smell developed gradually around him, so his brain has already placed it in the same category as the hum of the treadmill and the terrible remix playing above him. Other people do not have that advantage. A woman steps onto the treadmill beside you. She runs for 12 seconds, slows down, looks at the display, and steps off again. You assumes the machine is broken. A man approaches the treadmill on the other side, places his bottle in the holder, pauses, removes the bottle, and chooses a machine 6 spaces away. You smiles. This gym finally understands personal space. He increases the speed. 2 more people relocate. You decides his running form must look intimidating. In reality, his body odor has created an invisible reservation system. After the treadmill, you heads toward the weights. The moment he leaves, the woman from the next row walks over and checks beneath the treadmill. She looks for spilled protein shake, dirty towels, or possibly a small dead animal. She finds nothing because the source is already approaching the dumbbell rack. You picks up 2 dumbbells and begins shoulder presses. A man on the bench nearby suddenly sits upright. He sniffs once, then twice with the serious expression of someone detecting smoke in an airplane. He checks his own shirt. Then he checks the bench. Then he wipes the bench even though he has not finished using it. He watches this and feels impressed by the hygiene standards. He completes another set. The man leaves the entire area without taking his towel. You assumes he forgot it and calls after him. The man looks back, sees you holding the towel, and says he does not need it anymore. That should have been a clue. Unfortunately, confidence is very good at turning clues into compliments. At the cable machine, you notices a smell. This is important. He can smell something, but because his nose has adapted to the cloud attached to him, he only notices the stronger bursts created when he moves. He looks at the cable handles and decides they smell terrible. He wipes them aggressively. He sprays disinfectant on the handles, the seat, the adjustment pin, and a section of floor that has done nothing wrong. Now the area smells like body odor mixed with industrial lemon. The combination does not remove either smell. It creates a third smell with management experience. A gym employee walks past, stops, and looks around. He checks the nearest trash can. Empty. He checks behind a machine. Nothing. He walks toward the locker room, returns, and asks another employee whether there is a problem with the drains. He hears this conversation and immediately becomes helpful. He says he noticed something strange near the cable machine. This is technically true in the same way a fire can report that the room feels warm. The employees begin investigating. One checks the restroom. One checks the cleaning closet. Another stands beneath an air vent and sniffs upward. He follows them because he is now emotionally invested in solving the mystery. Every time you joins a new part of the investigation, the smell arrives with him. The employees check that exact location more carefully. When he walks away, the smell weakens. Nobody recognizes the pattern yet because nobody expects the suspect to be helping with the search. The fitness class in the corner is the first major casualty. An instructor is explaining squats when the front row begins looking around. Someone opens the door. Another person opens a window that is probably not moved since the gym was built. The instructor pauses the music and asks whether something spilled. He walks closer to see what is happening. The entire class reacts at once. Several faces tighten. One person coughs into a towel. The instructor announces that they will finish the session in the studio upstairs. He thinks the downstairs ventilation must be worse than anyone realized. He shakes his head and says the gym really needs to fix this. A woman carrying a yoga mat looks directly at him, then at the dark patches spreading under his arms, then back at his face. She chooses silence because some conversations require professional training. By now, the smell has been blamed on a drain, a trash can, wet towels, the ventilation system, and one innocent man eating boiled eggs near the lockers. The eggman becomes defensive. He holds up the container and says the eggs are sealed. Nobody apologizes to him, but history should remember that he was telling the truth. He continues his workout. He moves to the bench press, and the two benches beside him become available immediately. He believes this is luck. He moves to the squat rack, and someone points a portable fan in his direction. He believes this is excellent customer service. At the rowing machine, a teenager sprays body mist into the air behind you. The mist combines with everything else and creates a fragrance that could be called ocean breeze over municipal waste. You breathes in, makes a disgusted face, and wonders why people use so much perfume at the gym. The worst moment happens near the water fountain. A new member walks in from outside, reaches the fountain, and receives the smell without any adaptation. His expression changes so quickly that you think the water must taste bad. The new member whispers something to the receptionist. The receptionist looks across the gym. You walks left, and several people lean right. You walks right, and they lean left. For the first time, someone is beginning to understand that the smell has legs. An employee approaches you carefully and asks whether anything leaked inside his gym bag. You opens it. Shoes, towel, bottle, headphones. Nothing has leaked. The employee asks whether his shirt might have been left damp overnight. You says no and explains that the smell was already near the treadmill before he even used the weights. This statement does not defend him as well as he thinks it does. The employee asks whether you would like a complimentary hygiene wipe. You feel slightly insulted. He says he already cleaned the cable machine. The employee looks at the wipe, looks at you, and slowly places it on the bench between them like a peace offering. You does not take it. He has showered. His clothes are clean. He cannot smell anything unusual on himself. Therefore, the problem must belong to the building. This is the kind of logic that feels perfect when all the evidence has been filtered through your own nose. He finishes with deadlifts. Every repetition pumps fresh air through his shirt and sends another announcement across the room. People shorten their workouts. One man suddenly remembers an appointment. Another decides stretching is something he can do at home. The gym becomes quieter and more spacious with every set. You has never had such easy access to equipment. He completes the best workout of his life. On the way out, you tells the receptionist that someone should seriously inspect the ventilation. The receptionist says they will. She says it while staring at his shirt with the focused expression of a detective who has finally found the moving evidence. He walks home proud, tired, and completely unaware. Outside air dilutes the smell. He enters his room, removes the shirt, throws it over a chair, and takes a shower. The soap removes the bacteria and sweat from his skin. Clean clothes replace the gym clothes. His nose finally gets a break. 20 minutes later, he returns to the bedroom. The adaptation is gone. The shirt is still there. The smell reaches him from across the room. He stops in the doorway. He looks at the shirt. The shirt does not move, but somehow it feels responsible. He takes one cautious step closer. The smell becomes stronger. He lifts the shirt with 2 fingers and immediately understands every event from the gym. The empty treadmills, the abandoned towel, the employees checking the drains, the class moving upstairs, the portable fan, the body spray, the free hygiene wipe. Every memory returns with new subtitles. He drops the shirt into a laundry basket, then decides the basket is too close to civilization. He puts it in a plastic bag, then another plastic bag. He ties both bags and places them beside the washing machine like evidence awaiting trial. For several minutes, he stands completely still and calculates how many people knew. Maybe nobody connected it to him. Maybe the staff still believes it was the vent. Maybe everyone went home and forgot. This is not hope. This is the bargaining stage of embarrassment. The next morning, you makes a decision. He will return to the gym. Canceling immediately would look suspicious, and the membership has already charged him for the month. He showers carefully, applies deodorant, adds antiperspirant, waits, then applies a little more deodorant as if building armor. He packs a spare shirt, body wipes, and 2 additional deodorants. His gym bag now contains enough protection for a small expedition. You enters the gym wearing a different shirt. The lobby smells normal. Nobody screams. This is progress. He scans the room and sees familiar faces. Most people ignore him. Relief begins to return. Then he hears 2 members discussing yesterday. One says the smell was so bad that the fitness class moved upstairs. The other says staff checked the drains and found nothing. They both laugh about the guy in the green shirt who kept helping employees search for it. He was not wearing the green shirt now, but he owns the face that was above it. One of them looks over. Recognition appears slowly, not certainty, but enough. He nudges his friend. The friend looks at you, then at the gym bag, where 3 deodorants are visible through the open zipper. The receptionist smiles and says it is good to see him again. Behind her, a maintenance worker is replacing an air filter that probably committed no crime. A small fan is already running beside the desk. He turns around before reaching the machines. He walks directly into the membership office and says he needs to cancel. The manager asks why. Yu says he is moving. The manager looks at the address on the account and says he lives 8 minutes away. Yu says he is moving emotionally. You joins another gym across town. It takes 2 buses to get there, but distance has value when your reputation can smell you before it sees you. At the new gym, you checks his bag 3 times before every workout. One day, a member asks why he carries 3 deodorants. You looks into the distance and says some lessons require backup. The real lesson is not that everyone at the gym is judging you. Most people understand that body sweat and embarrassing things happen. The lesson is that your own senses are not always reliable when you have been surrounded by the same odor for too long. If people keep moving away from every machine you choose, do not assume they are respecting your personal space. And if gym employees are inspecting the drains while you help them search, quietly check your shirt before blaming the ventilation.